And hello one and all guys, welcome to my long-awaited preview and predictions video for both NXT TakeOver San Antonio and the 2017 Royal Rumble event. We're only 2.5 days away until the Royal Rumble. Tomorrow is of course NXT TakeOver San Antonio, so we're going to start with that show first. Looking forward to both shows. More so the Royal Rumble, a little lukewarm this year on NXT, but I still think NXT will deliver like they always do and produce another good TakeOver special. There hasn't been a bad one yet to date. So, I am especially looking forward to the title match, but I think there are several other matches on the card that could deliver and be really good. NXT is obviously in a rebuilding phase, with the draft and whatnot, so I expect, better going into NXT Orlando, TakeOver Orlando. So I think by then we'll see the direction that NXT is going to be heading. But you always have to remember that NXT, it is just a developmental brand. Really good at times, but, we're going to have, moments like, what we have now, where talent gets called up, and then, you have potential layover in the quality of the shows, the talent that you have to work with. But I definitely think NXT will improve in the weeks and the months to come. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up the NXT TakeOver San Antonio card, and I'll give you my predictions and preview for each of the scheduled matches that we have. Now, in total on this card, we have 5 matches announced, and we'll start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. The first match on this card is Roderick Strong versus Andrade Cien Almas. Basic stuff here, both guys, want to prove who is the better man between both of these competitors. I like Almas's work, since he's turned heel. I didn't really feel he was going anywhere as a baby face, just kind of bland, boring, and directionless. But I've enjoyed what he's done so far as a heel. Roderick Strong, obviously just coming into the company. I'm going to go with Roderick Strong here. I think he'll somehow pull out the win, his first singles match on an NXT TakeOver event. That's why I'm predicting that he will be the one to walk out victorious in this matchup. We have the match between Eric Young versus Ty Dillinger. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of the Sanity faction. I definitely see big potential for them down the line with multiple championship reigns, if booked correctly. Ty Dillinger, I just love what they've been doing with Ty, despite the fact that he loses, he just continues to gain more and more sympathy and respect from the crowds there at Full Sail University. So I think Ty takes the loss here. He'll be fine, but I think Sanity is going to pick up the win here. And like I said, it'll further establish them as one of the dominant groups, the new super faction here on NXT. And I definitely see big potential, big plans for Sanity in 2017. Should be a good match, but I'm expecting Eric Young to pick up the win, obviously with shenanigans from Sanity, who will be at ringside. We then go into our 3 championship matches on this card. We have a fatal 4-way match for the NXT Women's Championship. Asuka will be defending her title versus Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce. I really like the go-home segment that they had with all 4 women on this past week's edition of NXT, with it coming down to Asuka and Nikki Cross and them brawling and battling it out, and the potential alliance between Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. How will that factor into the match? I think it'll be a good match. Definitely something to prove for the new upcoming talent on the women's division on NXT. Nikki Cross, this will be for her first shot at an NXT TakeOver. Billie Kay has been on one, but I think this will be Peyton Royce's first shot at an NXT TakeOver event. So good for them. Get some new blood. You're going to have to rebuild the women's division after the draft. And I definitely do not see Asuka dropping her NXT Women's Championship. They could have that happen, but I'm still predicting that Asuka will remain undefeated and that she will go on to NXT TakeOver Orlando and face off against Ember Moon, who I think they will build up to be the one to beat Asuka at that event. So I think Asuka walks in and walks out and remains undefeated at NXT Women's Champion. Let's get into this NXT Tag Team Championship match. This should be a good one. Not the Revival. Gargano and Ciampa, Team DIY versus the Authors of Pain. I love the way that they build up to Gargano and Ciampa. You know, their classic series of matches against the Revival. Some of the best tag team matches that I've seen in a long, long time. Great stuff there. And then when they won the titles at Toronto. However, I don't think it's going to be a long title reign. I think this is where they lose the tag titles. And I'm predicting that Gargano and Ciampa will fall to the undefeated Authors of Pain. Really kick-ass video package this past week on NXT. So I think this will be the end for Gargano and Ciampa as NXT Tag Team Champions. Not the longest reign, but as a result of them, as a result of me predicting them to drop the tag titles, I think we could also see a split occur. Gargano potentially snapping, or not Gargano, Ciampa potentially snapping and turning on his best friend, Johnny Gargano, and off to the races we go with that feud. I think it's a feud that's been a long time coming. I would like to see it happen. Or they could keep them together, you know, depending on the depth for the NXT Tag Team division. But we'll have to see what happens. I think they'll be able to get a good match out of the Authors of Pain. But I think the Authors of Pain are picking up those Tag Team Championships and remaining undefeated. And we go into the most anticipated match. To me, this is the reason to watch this show. It is for the showdown between the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and the man, Shinsuke Nakamura, battling over the NXT Championship. Obviously, it's going to be a really good match. How could you not expect it to be a really good match with the talent involved? Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura. First time they've ever faced off against one another. I have really high expectations for this match. Can't wait to see the entrances for this match alone. So make it a big fight feel. But my prediction for who I think will walk out, I really don't see Nakamura dropping the championship to Bobby Roode, especially after he dropped it and then picked it back up from Samoa Joe in Japan. I think Nakamura is going to hold on to that title for a little bit longer as the flag bearer for the NXT as a whole for the brand. I think Bobby Roode will get close. There will be some really good near falls, but I think he will just come up short against Shinsuke Nakamura. Like I said, looking at this card, not the strongest NXT TakeOver card. Probably one of the weaker ones that we've had in a while, but I'm going in with good expectations. I've never been disappointed with a TakeOver. Like I said, I think the women can really deliver. You know, some of these undercard matches, you know, the two singles matches, let's see how they do. The tag team title match, that could turn out to be really good. And the championship match between Nakamura and Bobby Roode, you know, it's going to be glorious. It's just going to be victorious. So those are my predictions for NXT TakeOver San Antonio. Guys, remember to leave your comments down below for your predictions of what you think is going to happen at NXT TakeOver San Antonio. And we're going to transition here into my predictions for the big event this Sunday. Yes, that's right. The 2017 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Live from the Alamo Dome. Oh, it's going to be good. I can't remember the last time I was this excited for a main roster pay-per-view. It's been a long, long time, so it's about time. But we're looking at the card here. It's a solid card up and down, and the participants in the Royal Rumble match, we'll get into that, of course, towards the end of this video. But we have a total of 8 matches, and a little gripe here that I have is, why do we have 3 of these matches on the pre-show? I mean, you have a 4-hour pay-per-view event. To me, there's no need to have 3. 2 maybe on the pre-show. That's really pushing it. To me, I would only have 1 match on the pre-show, and you could easily fit another match or 2 on the main card. But as it is, there are 3 matches on the pre-show. That's something that I have a gripe about, because the show's long as it is. I can't tune in to watch the pre-show. It's too much. 4 hours, that's enough for me. But we'll talk about these pre-show matches. We have Sheamus and Cesaro defending their Raw Tag Team Championships against Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. Weird stipulation. 2 referees are assigned to this match, so I can just tell you it's going to be a clusterfuck. I don't really, you know, what I'm worried that could happen is both referees count to 3, and then what? They're gonna both be the tag team champions. Something stupid like that. Why not just have a regular match, or you make it no DQ or something, or I don't know, tag team tornado match, 2 referees. I just think it's going to be a stupid ending, and I don't think Anderson and Gallows are going to pick up the tag team. I've given up hope on them picking up the tag team championships. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me time number 10,000, I don't care. So, yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus, I'm predicting, will retain. We have Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. One of the few things that I have enjoyed on Raw is this feud that's happened between Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. They moved both women on. They've given Nia Jax something to do. Sasha Banks has moved on from her long feud with Charlotte. So, yeah, just pretty simple storytelling here. You know, Nia Jax has been attacking Sasha Banks. And will Sasha have enough in her to get retribution over Nia Jax? I think it'll be a good match with the talent involved. If I had to pick a winner for this match, I'm probably going to go with Nia Jax. I just think Sasha is just going to continue to go on her losing ways, especially on pay-per-view. I don't think she has a win this year on pay-per-view. I could be wrong. I'm trying to think of every show on here. Well, she did win at Battleground, but that was how long ago? July? I think ever since then, she's lost at every pay-per-view. So you could turn that into a story where it eventually morphs into a heel turn for her. That is something that I would like to see, and, you know, maybe set up her versus Bayley down the line, you know, maybe at SummerSlam. I think that would be a great match to have for that show. But looking short term, I think Nia Jax will pick up the win here over Sasha Banks. We have the 6-women tag team match that was originally scheduled for the main card, but was now moved to the pre-show. So like I said, 3 matches on the pre-show. I don't know why you need a 2-hour pre-show to begin with. Whatever. Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi versus Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya. Mickie James' long-awaited return to the WWE main roster. Cannot wait to see her back in action after we saw her at NXT TakeOver Toronto. If I had to pick a winner for this match, I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalya. You know, somehow, some way, I think the heels will find a way to pull out the victory over the babyfaces. We then have Rich Swann versus Neville in a singles match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. I think if these guys are allowed to go out there and just tell their own story, no restrictions, no holds barred, just let these guys go out there and do what they can do best. This could be one of the best matches on the card. It could steal the show. I mean, Rich Swann versus Neville? Hell yeah, I want to see that. And just don't limit these guys, which is what has hurt the Cruiserweights. You just allow them to go out there and kill it. I think this would be a great opening match. We should be opening with the Cruiserweights. We really yet to see that on the Raw brand. So let these guys go out there, give them 15 minutes. A 4-hour show, there's no excuse not to. And I think it'll be a really good Cruiserweight match. I'm predicting Neville will gain that Cruiserweight Championship, and he will hold on to it for a good amount of time. I really love what they've done with Neville ever since the heel turn. It's really reinvigorated, added fire, passion back into, you know, his, you know, persona. And I think he's going to pick up the Cruiserweight Championship from Rich Swann. So that's why I'm predicting Neville to be your new Cruiserweight Champion. We then have Charlotte versus Bayley for the Raw Women's Championship. On paper, this should be a really good feud. But just the way that it has been booked with the horribly scripted promos and just the narrative of Bayley being the fan and, you know, roses are red, violets are blue. Who scripts this shit? Of course, it's Vince McMahon. So I haven't been a fan of the build-up to this match and the fact that we've seen the match on TV like 4 times or something. Bayley's already pinned Charlotte a couple times. It's just like that kind of hurts the allure heading into this show of like, oh, I can't wait to see Bayley and Charlotte. Well, you've seen them fight on TV for free a number of times, and it has hurt my level of intrigue going into this match, and also the way that the booking has been, you know, it hasn't really done them any favors. It should have been a simple story. Charlotte claims that she's the best. You know, but Bayley, she's the underdog. You know, she's the fighting champion. She wants to be the fighting champion. She wants to overcome all the odds that have been put in front of her like she did in NXT, and she will climb to the top of that mountain through hell or high water, and that's the story that just needed to be told. Not about her being a fan or the poems or all this scripted crap. Just let them go out there and tell their own story. Give them the bullet points, and they'll succeed. But I still think it'll be a good match, despite me not being as excited for it as I should be. I mean, Charlotte versus Bayley, you should be excited for that, but the creative team strikes again. As for my prediction of who will walk out the winner, I think Charlotte will. I don't think she's going to be beaten yet. I think they will save that for WrestleMania coming up, and that's where she will suffer her first pinfall singles loss on pay-per-view. So I'm predicting that Charlotte will retain her Raw Women's Championship. And then we get into our two championship matches. Let's get into the one that I don't care about and then the one that I do care about. Roman Reigns challenging Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship in a no disqualification match with the added stipulation that Chris Jericho will be suspended in a shark cage above the ring. I just don't care. I don't care about this match. How can I care when I've seen it 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 times, if not 5 or 6? It's like you do the same match over and over and over again, and you expect me to care by the time we get to this show? Even with the added stipulation. You know, I think Kevin Owens has just been really booked as a piss-poor champion. And Roman Reigns, do I even want to go there? I think he could be a very good talent, but just the way that they book this guy, it's just, to me, it's boring. And frankly, like his United States Championship reign was underwhelming. Could have been good. He could have done something with it, but they chose to have him not really defend it that much and have any real feuds over it, which I don't get. And just the guy comes out there, and it's obviously the scripted promos are not for him. He should be, short, sweet, and to the point and just kick some ass, or turn the guy heel. It's really simple. Book him the way that you booked him in the Shield, and the guy will get over fine. But just, it's not helping him, and just, I don't know. Roman Reigns is going to win the Universal title. Fine, whatever. I just don't care. I should care, but I don't. So, yeah. Not the only thing I'm looking forward to in this match is watching the gift of Jericho, because you gotta drink it in, man. You gotta drink it in. So we're gonna make sure we are gonna get the gift of Jericho that night. So let's talk about a match that I actually do care about. A match that involves two big, superstars. AJ Styles versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. It doesn't get much bigger than this. The stakes could not be much higher. AJ Styles has beaten John Cena a number of times. 2 times in singles matches. Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. Didn't think that was going to happen. He also got a pinned Cena in the Triple Threat at No Mercy. So he's 3 up on Cena. Cena has yet to beat AJ Styles. Will Cena have AJ's number come Royal Rumble? I love it. I love the story that they've been telling. The back and forth promos. The build has been really good. I mean, it's SmackDown too, so that always helps. But it's going to be a good one. Potential match of the year candidate. I am just really, really excited for this match. And I don't know who's going to win. And that's what I love about it. It could be Cena. Styles could shock the world and retain. We just don't know. But it's a predictions video, so I do have to make my prediction. And I'm predicting that John Cena will win his 16th World Championship in the Alamo Dome at the Royal Rumble. I've been going back and forth on this, but I'm sticking with Cena winning his 16th championship. And then from there, I don't know where we go. We'll have to see. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is going to have huge implications for WrestleMania 33. So with all that out of the way, we get into the main event, the match that we've been waiting for. They built it up for months. I cannot wait this year's 2017 30-man Royal Rumble match. I have the list of participants right here in front of me. The list. And on the list, we have Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, The Undertaker, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Luke Harper, Big Show, Kane, Big Cass, Rusev, and Mojo Rawley. 22 out of the 30 participants have been named. So there are 8 unannounced participants, and I love that. I fucking love that. So before I predict who I think is going to win the 2017 Royal Rumble match, here are my list of 8 participants that I see being in the Royal Rumble. Being in the Royal Rumble match. These are my list of 8 participants that I see in the Royal Rumble match. I have James Ellsworth. I think he will be in there, and he's going to get the ever-loving shit kicked out of him by probably Braun Strowman. I think Finn Balor will be making his return at the Royal Rumble. I think Triple H will be on the Royal Rumble to set up his feud with Seth Rollins. Kurt Angle, my hometown boy, I think he will be in the Royal Rumble. And I also think that Samoa Joe will be making his call-up from NXT. And in addition to that, I think we will see Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10 from NXT as well. And I think we'll see 2 surprises from the UK tournament, Pete Dunne and the UK champion Tyler Bate. So those are my predictions for the final 8 participants in the Royal Rumble match. And now it comes down to decision time. Who am I predicting that will win the 2017 Royal Rumble match? I am still sticking with my gut prediction of Finn Balor returning and winning the 2017 Royal Rumble match. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it come down to Finn and The Undertaker, Demon versus Deadman. But I am still going with Finn Balor winning the Royal Rumble. So that is my predictions for NXT TakeOver San Antonio, guys, and the 2017 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Let me know down below in the comments section, what are your predictions for the Royal Rumble? And just enjoy this weekend, guys. It's going to be a fun weekend to sit back, relax, watch NXT and the Royal Rumble. Should be 2 very good shows. Like I said, I'm going to get this predictions and preview video out there for you guys. And, of course, remember, tomorrow I will be back up here live after NXT TakeOver San Antonio, breaking down the entire show with my good friend Mike. And then back here on Sunday night after the Royal Rumble, we'll be going live, and my good friend Connor on from the UK. We will be breaking down the Royal Rumble pay-per-view itself. So that is it, guys, for my preview and predictions video. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. And be on the lookout for me in my next video. So until then, guys, take care and have a good night.